It's the internet! Welcome back!
Maha!
I know you all ceased existing while I wasn't there. So I'm glad I could will you back into existence. Thanks for coming in to watch. Tonight we're starting The Road to Nowhere, an electric state actual play here on happyjacksrpg. I am Kadave. Many of you know me. If you don't, welcome. Have a seat. You'll get to know me over the next, I don't know how many hours we're playing this.
It's nice to meet you.
Thank you.
God. Starting strong.
Whew. Just to let everybody know, Electric State is a game with adult problems. Things are going to happen. It's not all going to be sunshine and roses, but there might be some of those. Or at the very least, California wildflowers.
Oh.
So there are lots of things that might happen on this adventure that might lean into R-rated territory. Prepare yourself. Things can happen. We always use safety tools here at Happy Jacks. We've had a discussion about them. We have filled stuff out, and we all kind of know what not to do with, and it's going to be great. And we have the handy-dandy fancy push-the-button X card right here in the studio in case something unexpected happens, because that can always be a thing. And the best way to deal with safety tools is be a damned adult and talk about it with everybody else.
Correct.
Because there are lots of times that something might come up that is a bad deal for somebody, but they didn't, if you didn't discuss it beforehand, nobody knows, and it just ends up with hurt feelings and bad times. We're just here to have fun, because that's what gaming's about.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's go around the table.
Oh God. Hello.
Surprise.
Hi, I'm Cody Gonzaga. You didn't give me a template. I don't know what else to say about myself.
Pronouns?
You'll have more.
They, them. Pronouns are they, them. I was on a Happy Jack stream a while back where I ran my game Extraordinary. Yay. I don't have anything That's else. good.
We love game designers here.
Yay.
Session
That's
0,
it.
that's about all there is
That's
to
it.
say, really. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know who I play yet.
Yeah. I'm going to be short and sweet. Hi, everyone. I'm Kai. If I don't know you, now you do.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I use he, they, she pronouns. Kimmy came here to lie, everybody. And
With the spice.
I haunt the Happy Jack studio. That's the real truth these days. Kimmy.
Hi, I'm Kimi. I get to be a player for the first time in 4 years. I'm very spicy. So it's very exciting. Yes, you can find me at Golden Lasso Girl on the internet when I check it. If not, then I don't. And yeah, I'm here to be spicy and to run the electronics.
We love the spice.
I love spicy Kimmy.
I almost forgot.
I don't have to be the one. I don't have to be the one that keeps the peace. I get to cause problems. It's very exciting. I don't have to solve any problems.
I love it.
That's you, Dave.
That's literally what I live for.
I know.
Because I've GM'd games with people in public places where they don't deal with problems. They just sit there and look at me, and I feel like I'm doing a puppet show for 4 hours. And then you're like,
I do a
"Did you guys
thing."
have fun?
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, that was great.
Oh, God, I can't.
Whew.
Hurts me
Yes.
in my heart
So,
place.
the thing we're doing tonight is we're going to be making characters. There has been some preliminary looking at characters and stuff, but I have given all the players a packet with all of the archetypes to peruse and a list of all the talents that they'll get to pick when we get to that phase of character creation, so they can start looking at that, while I give all of you out there in internet land a little bit about the Electric State game. So, Electric State is the third Free League publishing game based on the art of Simon Stålenhag that is just astounding. Literally, it's one of my favorite living artists.
Yeah.
Because his stuff is haunting and weird and harkens back to the time when I was a younger person than I am now. So it's always nice to see stuff. Just weird boxy cars and phone booths to plug in VR headsets. Stuff. His imagination's great, and his art lends itself to so many cool story ideas. In this case, this game takes place in California, now called Pacifica, because there was, in the 70s, a second American Civil War. in which many of the states broke away and caused all kinds of shenanigans. A large chunk of Nevada is radioactive now.
Rip.
It's not already.
I was like going to say now. Sorry.
I mean, if you go down a certain highway, there is the big testing facility that has like all the fake buildings and all that still.
Yeah.
That's really cool to look at
Yeah.
from a distance. But don't stop long, because they will come out and talk to you.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
Oh no.
But Pacifica is sort of the last bastion of culture in the late 90s that's still functioning as sort of a large government. Mainly because they invented haptic VR that projects into your brain in this game world. And that contributed to a lot of use during the war, because why send soldiers when you can send robots controlled through VR headsets from a distance? People don't get killed, and warfare can get even crazier. So the highways and byways of California are littered with crashed giant flying ships and drone soldiers and all kinds of things all over the place. California still has a functioning government. Pacifica, excuse me, still has a functioning government. There is a governor that is in charge, actually president, that is in charge of the Pacific state. But it's mainly under the surface controlled by one corporation at this point. And that corporation is Center. They are the people that invented the VR headset, and they, in 1996, this game is set in 1997, released a new version of the headset that does full-on Matrix-style immersion. You put on the headset, you get to taste the steak. And that turns out one of those society-ending inventions. Because it sucks to have to get up and go to work when I can go and have a Mai Tai on the beach and enjoy myself in a headset and not worry about it. Mm-hmm. This has led to more and more people getting addicted to the VR space and spending more and more time there. To the point where there's lots of folks that go into the neuroscapes, in the language of this game, and decide not to log out. They get stuck in a little happy loop, and they don't want to go. It makes it tough to keep society ticking along if people aren't participating anymore. Now, on the other side of the coin, the neuroscapes do provide all of the cool features of the internet at large that you can experience in all kinds of ways. It kind of divides it up into local neuroscapes that are things that you would have to be there to experience. Like, you get to a little town, and the little library in town lets you log in and borrow books virtually. That would be a local neuroscape. Global stuff is looking up how to open a safe made by this manufacturer somewhere. Well, unless you're in the town where that manufacturer of safes is, chances are you're going to have to go to the greater neuroscape to look for it. This game takes place both in the real world and in neuroscapes. And the neuroscapes are seductive, and they can really pull you in as a player. So you may find yourself getting harder and harder to log out. Your friends can help. They can maybe save you from that fate. Maybe they don't. Maybe you're that person on this road trip that they don't want to deal with anymore because you've done terrible stuff. Things can happen. What else? There are folks out there that experience the real world through driving a drone. So you might encounter what looks like a super futuristic robot to us, able to walk around, talk, do things, carry things, has opposable thumbs, all the things that a fancy super robot could do, but it is being piloted by somebody with a headset on somewhere else. Now, the darker side of the neuroscapes is that there are rumors that perhaps machine intelligences have begun to evolve in these places. And they are outside the control of the programmers that have made these spots. And maybe they are specifically tempting people in order to use their brain power in some way. Do all kinds of nefarious machine things that we can't understand because we're just people meat. Who knows? Some of them might even be trying to find a way to escape from the neuroscape into reality. Things. What else? The major cities of California still operate much like they do. Los Angeles is still a going concern. San Francisco is still a going concern. Sacramento is still the capital of Pacifica.
Somehow.
Sorry if you're from Sacramento. Like my mother-in-law.
Oh.
But the farther you get out from these bustling cities, the less functional society is. You're not seeing a consistent law enforcement presence places. You're not seeing agriculture as functional as it once was. And it's society in decline. That's kind of the theme of this world. Like, yeah, there's still people, and yeah, they're still doing their thing, but it's getting ragged. What else should we talk about? This game, in particular, is all about going on a trip. As we make characters, we're going to figure out why. I already have a destination in mind that folks need to get to the Pacific Northwest because they want to escape being out from under this corporate-controlled government's thumb. So in your character concepts, work that in a little bit somehow, and we'll figure it out as we come up with more stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
It's a very generic thing to do. But the goal is once we make our characters, we're going to consult some maps, and you guys are going to decide which way you're trying to get out of LA.
Okay.
Woohoo.
With that,
Life imitates art. Okay.
with that, we can get started with making characters, I think.
Okay.
Go.
Other than that, all of the weird stuff I talked about, AI and the neuroscapes and all that, it's 1997. The pop culture of 1997 is what's in the world.
Oh, this rocks.
The vehicles of 1997 are what's in the world. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right around
There's a
my
bunch
Suburban.
of teenagers that are dancing around and stomping on each other's toes to ska music. There's a bunch of, there's a bunch of people that are just discovering Zima for the first time.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
There's cell phones exist. They're not
good.
great. You will encounter places that don't have reception. Your VR helmets that you will all get as part of character creation do have wireless connectivity that's actually much better than the cell networks because Center, the big company that produces these things, has it all out there. Fashion-wise, you may find yourself wearing
Flannel.
Yes! Going digging in my 90s clothes.
You might find yourself wearing big Doc Martens with shorts because it's hot in LA today.
Nice.
So
Mine are in the house anyway.
it can still happen later.
Okay.
It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have to make a
I
character.
got the
Figure it
tall
out.
ones that go like almost to my knees.
Oh, yeah,
Sure.
yeah. We get it. You're cool.
Yeah, I'm cool. I wasn't then, but I am now. Skechers.
It's the S.
Skechers.
It is the
everything.
birth of Skechers.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
Yeah.
The white
very early-
Skechers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the world we inhabit.
Am I in the wrong class, guys?
No.
No.
My goal, because I specifically started prep for this game in my mind of I want to make a game that anybody can play.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all going to be 90s references. I
Yay.
promise. There may be something that comes up now and then when it's appropriate, but
Before tonight. Haha. No.
yes. For that little nostalgia blip, yes.
It's important. It's important.
We
for the
also
game.
live in a world where the only superhero movies at this point in 1997 were Batman and the 70s Superman.
Yeah.
So let's roll.
Yeah.
But other than that, movies are a thing. It's out there. We've seen, In 97, we've seen 7 already.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We've seen...
We had the rumor of the Superman movie with Nick Cage.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
that come and gone by then.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know.
Yeah, that was out there. But
Horrifying.
the first
God.
Beetlejuice
97.
it was a thing from the late
Beetlejuice.
80s.
Yeah.
It's the prime time.
were
They're filming
full
Lord
on
of the
in-
Rings right now.
with like the Paul Verhoeven superviolence.
Yeah.
97, I think, gave us Starship Troopers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
The prequels are almost done coming out,
Mm-hmm.
right?
No.
99 was
99.
fantastic.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
this is one of the re-releases.
There we go.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what
We're in
see,
the
the thing is,
special
I'm
editions,
just
yes.
young enough that some of this, I'm like, it's in a blurry time for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in the full special edition re-release
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
of look,
THX
we get to-
digitally remastered.
yeah, we get to see the footage from where they superimposed a badly done.
They added too
CGI
much
Jabba the Hutt.
Mos Eisley.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah,
I have those.
all of that. And then there were people like me back then that were watching it on Laserdisc and enjoying the
Hell
originals
yeah.
the way they should be.
Yes. Men in
Uh,
Black.
Okay.
Oh, Men in Black was out,
original
yeah.
Men in Black.
Men in Black is so good.
All right.
Yeah. We're in the ramp up of the early like Danny Elfman scores.
Titanic.
Oh no.
Oh
We'll go on. I'm sorry. Okay, we should probably go to the game. now.
We actually
no.
lost Kimi.
Contact. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah, I went down the rabbit hole very deep.
We'll be in this rabbit hole for a while.
So, the first thing everybody needs to do is choose the archetype that they would like to play.
Now, Cody, you're the only one who has already picked, right? So which one did you pick?
Doctor.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go first.
You sure?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So one I'm most interested in is a drone pilot.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Shrimpteresting. That's my
I like
friend.
robots.
I think that I'm going to go with the Devotee.
Nice.
Oh, this will be interesting.
We're gonna be an odd group.
Oh yeah.
So excited.
This is gonna be fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I can put all the rest of those aside.
Oh, I'm so excited.
All right. So, next up, we're going to do attributes. And the way that works is your attributes are all going to end up between 2 and 6. You roll 4d6. And you get to keep re-rolling ones until all the dice are 2 or higher.
Okay.
All right.
Today is not the day that I rehab that dice. Mm-mm.
Not for stats.
Wow, that's really mid.
Hey, you're gonna. If you roll below a certain amount total, then you get an extra ability.
That's fair.
So-
That's really
Mhm.
mid.
It
That's
helps
like
you.
powerfully mid.
That really is.
It's a direct average of 3.
Oh,
I have a 2 and a 4, and everything else is 3s.
oh lordy.
but like you just discussed, if your total is 15 or lower, you're going to get an extra talent. When you
Great.
get to
It's
talent.
definitely 15 or lower.
Great. And you can distribute them any way you like. Take a look at your archetype for a second, though, because it does
Yeah.
kind of give you a key attribute on there.
Mm-hmm.
Empathy or wits or, 2 empathies and a wits. Right up there it is.
I'm sorry. I was doing multiple things when you said the dice thing.
Okay,
Uh,
roll 46.
No, I did that already.
Okay.
All right, so you said one of them didn't count. Like we have to.
If any of them are 1, you
Mhm.
can re-roll.
Okay, great. No, I didn't.
As long as it's 2 or higher, great. You can distribute them as you will, but make your key attribute your highest if you
Okay.
can.
Mm-hmm.
And then if your total number of points in attributes is under 15, just keep track of that in your head.
15 or lower.
15 or lower, yeah.
So can you give us? So what is wits specifically? Is it like brains or
Yep.
is it like street smarts? Okay,
Both.
both. Okay.
This is super simplified in terms of these attributes.
Okay.
It's strength is literally anything to do with muscles. Agility is speed or dexterity, anything like that. Wits is anything that you're figuring out with your brain, and empathy is anything you're figuring out between other people.
Okay. Should we make sure we all are good at something, or does that not matter? Okay.
I'm not the kind of GM that's like, man, none of you picked a strength character. You're all screwed. Every challenge is strength based. Like, that's not going to be a thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pondering where to put my 2. That's all.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Oof.
While you are pondering, we can begin to calculate your starting health and hope scores. So health and hope. Health, you take blah, 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 is your strength plus your agility divide by 2.
Round up or down?
Round up.
Going into my mind palace.
For math? No, actually, that's
It's not for
valid.
math. It's for placing these.
Yeah, fair.
And then your hope is your wits and your empathy divided by 2, rounding up.
I think that makes sense.
Now, health and hope both kind of work in the same way. Health is obviously if you take physical damage from something that lowers your health. Hope is sort of the hit points that you're going to have to deal with when it comes to mentally traumatic things, including when bad stuff happens when you're in the neuroscape. That's where your hope starts to deplete. One of the things about hope is while you're in the neuroscape, you can gain bliss points. And when your bliss exceeds your hope, you are no longer able to log out.
Ha 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 ha.
Okay.
Yep.
Without help.
Okay.
People can still get you out. But by help, I don't just mean somebody ripping the helmet off, because that's bad.
No, that
Oh,
that seems like a bad
That's-
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's jacked into your brainstem. It's not ideal.
Next up, you can look at that talent list in the pile that I gave you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pick one talent, or if your attributes were lower than 15 total, you can pick 2.
Doing great.
Now, alternately, you can roll a d6, and on your archetype, it kind of gives you 3 suggested talents to look at. So for the devotee, it's dreamer, leader, and speaker.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
For the doctor, it's medic, nurse, surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
And for the drone operator, it's drone operator,
Drone operator.
gamer, or hacker.
I might be too self-aware as a devotee because I was going to pick con artist.
I'm so
That is
excited
also
for this.
totally fine.
Amazing. Incredible.
Should probably read the entire thing.
I'm trying to look. Let's see. If it's really standard, really full.
Now, I'm also willing to discuss if you kind of want to custom
Mm-hmm.
do a talent. That's fine. Like if you have some idea, even if it comes up later, we can swap out. That's totally fine. If we're like halfway through the campaign and you've extensively used your talent, and then you're like, you know what, I came up with a great idea, I'd like to change it. Too late.
Okay.
But here at the start, totally open to negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
While you are perusing those, I'm going to talk about the next part, which is your dream. So every character's dream is kind of your motivation, right? It's your thing that motivates you to be a part of this adventure. There are some ideas on each archetype sheet, and if you'd like to, you can roll a d6 and choose one of those. Or you can kind of come up with anything for yourself. While we're in play, your dream is important because pursuing your dream, making concrete progress towards your dream, is how you will improve your character. So at the end of each session, we're going to ask some questions, and they're all sort of, how did you progress things towards your dream? And then you get points that you can put into improvement.
Can we make our own dream, or should we just
Absolutely.
use? Okay.
Sometimes the ones on the archetypes are just a good starting place to kind of
Yeah.
get some ideas in your head.
No, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
Oh yeah, they're very generic. I was going to be much more specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Specificity is for the goal.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, you don't want to be too specific with your dream, because then it makes it less likely you'll improve later.
Got it.
You can always keep bits of your dream in your head and not on the paper, and that makes it more specific for you. That's fine. The next thing that I'll start to discuss is your flaw.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's sort of the one thing that really deep down your character knows is a problem, right? Is it, some of the possibilities that they give, for the drone pilot, you think you're better than flesh people, right? Like, it's sort of the opposite side of the coin of the aspirational dream. It's the thing that's that little current of negativity that you've got for some reason. And during gameplay, you can get to a point where you overcome your flaw, but that is what locks your character from improving any further.
Mm.
So it can give you a big benefit when it happens, but it's kind of the end of that character arc. After that is a pretty easy one for me to describe and a difficult one for all of you to choose. Your favorite song.
Oh,
Probably only second worst to whatever your name's going to be.
oh God. I'll be here for 90 years.
Now I need to think about a name. Hold on. No.
Yeah.
I'm like in.
And even if you don't come up with a name tonight, I totally understand. I am that person
Yeah.
all the time.
I have a really funny idea just kind of percolating that I'm like, okay, well, let's refine.
And then you can come up with your description. That's totally up to you. Your vibe, what you're wearing, what you look like, that kind of stuff. It gets a little complicated with the drone, but whatever. Whatever you want your drone to be like, I'm on board for your description.
Description, yeah.
Now, if you come back with like, I want a thing that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm not concerned that that's what's going to come out of your mouth, but it doesn't make you any.
No, it doesn't
Burly,
physically
yeah,
change
yeah.
your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is a terrible idea.
There we go.
What is the name of the company?
Center?
Center.
SENTRE. And they have somewhere in the book the ad for when they release the new version of the helmets is so hilarious to computer nerds like me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is 100% an ad from a certain tech company that makes many products that
Oh.
we use today.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
And yeah, it even uses the Times font that they used back in that
Oh
era.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. Back in the era shortly before they almost went out of business.
Okay. I think I think I have a direction to go in.
All right.
I think I figured it out.
Okay. Now, the next sort of thing you have to pick is going to be what Neurocaster you have. They are so prevalent, it is like smartphones today. Everybody has to have one because that's the only way to access the digital landscape, right? All of the, you want to buy tickets to see a concert, you have to log in virtually and buy tickets.
Is this okay for my claw?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if that was like in theme with it. Okay.
I think that's totally fine.
Okay. Cool.
So your Neurocasters that you can choose from, each archetype kind of has several that are listed on your archetype page. Specifically, the Devotee is interesting because depending on what you're devoted to, maybe you don't have one.
Ooh.
And then on the other side of the coin, the drone pilot, yours might be the very top of the line.
Yeah.
That are available. And they are a little bit amusing in their design because they're like giant duckbill.
Oh, they are.
helmets.
Wow.
I love them. I think
Yeah.
they're so cool.
Yeah.
But the bigger the model you have, the better its stats are, but it's also much bigger for you to carry around on this whole adventure.
It's okay. It's the only thing I'm carrying, so it's fine.
Well, your drone isn't carrying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're somewhere else. And we can start to wonder about questions of, do you even know where you are?
Oh, I
What's
don't
going on
think
there?
I do.
Oh no.
That's why I'm sitting over.
You're looking for your body?
I'm sitting over here just thinking.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. So, I'll go over the models real quick. Each model has stats that work like your stats when you're in the Neuroscape.
Mm-hmm.
The processor is sort of just the raw power of your headset, right? Which is something like if you were trying to crack through encrypted password or something, it would be processor that's cranking away on that. Network is how fast it can, how quick you are to get data around and manipulate systems and do stuff. It's kind of like the digital version of agility. And then graphics, how well you can perceive everything that's happening in a Neuroscape. And those can give you bonuses when I'm making you make rolls while you're in the Neuroscape. So the largest model is called the Stimulus TLE Pro. It's +3 to all your stats across the board. The standard model gives you +2s. They have a very compact, tiny model called the Go that gives you +2s, but the graphics are a little worse because it doesn't have the giant
It also
horn.
gives you only -1 to do real world stuff when you have the helmet on.
That's right,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
because you are not fully immersed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you put on a headset today, a VR headset today, and there's like light gaps.
Yeah, you can see.
You're like, oh, I could still check why my phone
yeah.
buzzed underneath if I just peer down there, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then maybe you have one that you just put together from spare parts that you found on the side of the road. Gives you just 1s for stats. Or maybe you're really into a certain character. They have the Johnny Jolt, which is apparently an advertising campaign to get one that's all themed out,
That's so fun.
like Pikachu kind of
Yeah.
jam.
Very
Oh,
Pikachu
man.
vibes.
No. Oh, good.
This would be a time for a Pikachu one.
Yeah. So one of my options is none.
Maybe.
Okay.
If you want to go that way, maybe you don't have one.
What are you devoted to, Kimmy?
I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah.
So you can ponder,
Okay.
right?
Is that gonna like derail things? Do you want things to happen? Because like that would
I
that
mean,
mean
things will happen, but if you can't go in there, we'll figure it out.
Other things will happen.
I know it's like okay.
Maybe you're the one person that's on the outside, and these two are off.
I'm deep in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a drone pilot, so we could be polar opposites in that way.
What's the timeline in terms of like when the war happened? And it's 1997 now.
The war happened in the 70s.
Okay.
And basically that began a slow slide. There was skirmishes much later into the 80s that originally it was sort of the West Coast became a state, united, Washington, Oregon, California sort of band together. But that fell apart because California stopped really helping out. Nevada was originally in that. Nevada got nuked. And
do it.
the Californians didn't jump in and help. So then the Washingtonians and the Oregons are like, well, if you're not going to help out when you said you were, we're out too.
Yeah.
So it further fractured things. And that's not all of Nevada is destroyed. There's still rumors of people that are making do in Vegas, but it's not a destination anymore. It's not a thing. And in fact, just surviving out there is tough without all of the civilization parts that ship in food and everything else. Next thing up is choosing your personal item. Now, personal items are sort of your specialty thing. Much like many of you, I'm sorry, I leaned over to the side and I kept talking. Your personal item is much like the sort of personal item that has come up in previous Free League games. It's a thing where I do not have the ability to steal it from you narratively, right? Like if there's a reason why you don't have access to it for a time, that's fine, but it's always going to come back. Let me see what page that is on. 60. Personal item. Really?
Oh, speaking of, how is the flaw I push myself too hard and don't take care of myself?
That's fine.
Cool. All right. Because I made that one up, so I'm
That's
gonna check
totally
it.
okay.
Yeah.
We're doing great.
We're all doing
We're all
so
doing so good.
None of us need therapy.
No.
We're all fine.
Fine.
That's what the car drive is for.
Okay. It's
Of course it's therapy.
forced therapy.
Yep, correct.
Mhm.
Exposure therapy in this case.
Yeah. Ooh.
Specifically in the section for the GM in this book, it's like, let your players feel the road trip. Make them stew in the presence of people that they maybe like, maybe don't like, but have
Yeah.
to deal with. Like, don't rush to the next stop. This game is not about the stops, it's about the journey.
I have a lore question.
Shoot.
So this is a much more like technologically advanced 1997.
Sure.
Did like the games that were like top of the line in 1997, are they still
Absolutely.
the thing?
They're probably in the neuroscape, but like
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Fancier Doom.
I've
more
figured out my thing.
intense doom.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand. I think I know where this is going.
I know you do.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm so scared now.
Oh dear.
Got to weave in my origin story.
I didn't think so.
Yeah. Okay, so I had a question and now I forgot it. Oh, if I have a Neurocaster, can I like choose not to wear it ever?
Yeah.
I guess then I probably wouldn't keep it though.
Well, you can carry it with you.
Okay.
Maybe it's like the thing that reminds you not to do, it's the smoker that keeps one cigarette left in your pocket.
Yeah. Maybe you
Right?
put stuff in it. Maybe that's where you
Well,
hatch chickens.
Well, the idea I'm playing with, just like so we're clear at the table, is like my belief is that the real world has emerged with the Neuroscape. So I don't need to put my helmet on because we're already in the Neuroscape right now.
God.
Fascinating.
Okay.
That's great.
This is gonna be really
I'm
funny.
pulling my 1997 Ultima Online MMO addiction and making it into a character.
Go.
Yeah.
Godspeed to you. You're so strong.
Yeah, no, like legit. I would play it for like 13 hours a day. It was really sad. But yeah, so I think that's where it is. So it's not that I'm against the neuroscape. I am completely I
You're in
believe
it.
this is the neuroscape. And when you put the helmets on, maybe you're seeing the real world, but I don't need it anymore. I'm in the neuroscape permanently.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
This is going to be awesome.
It's gonna be so much.
This will be fascinating.
Very excited.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
All of the yes.
Okay.
Looking at music now.
Now, okay, I have a question about the music too.
Okay.
Is the music the song my character would like, or a song that represents my character?
You can kind of go either way.
Okay.
Um,
Because there's a very obvious one that is like so on the nose for my character,
okay.
but like so on the nose, and I went to the concert, it was great. But like I don't know if it's the one my character would like listen to. But I don't have to think about it. Okay, we'll figure it out. Oh, I might just do it because it's
Yeah.
funny. Okay.
A lot of it's going to come down to, at a certain point, I might be like, so how many times have you made everybody listen to that song in the car?
Okay. Okay.
Like that kind of a question. So it's more, I think it leans a little more into
To
what your
the
character would like.
listen to. Okay.
So my heart will go on.
Oh God.
Oh.
I feel like even, I think I'm too traumatized by that song to even make it a character choice. Like, no.
It's the truest thing that anyone can over listen to in this era.
Yeah, because I was going to say Personal Jesus by Depeche
Oh.
Mode,
Excellent.
but I might be a little too on the nose for like what like she'd actually listen to.
Next thing that at least two of you can roll for is how much cash you've got.
I already did it.
Okay,
I have
great.
$900.
Damn, okay.
Big money. Well, you're a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I am making the cash. Yeah. Okay.
It's fine, dice. I'll just put you back now and hope you roll better in the future.
All right. So, next up, the only thing that I'm going to faust upon you is the destination, right? You want to get to the Pacific Northwest, outside California, probably somewhere between Portland and Seattle.
Okay.
Right? You want to get up there. We can come up with your personal reasons in a minute, but that's the goal. You're starting in Los Angeles. You have all been in Los Angeles for a time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have been there forever. Maybe you're not physically there at all, but that's where your drone is. And you're existing, right? Drones are not so uncommon that it's weird, right? If you choose to play in the like habituate a drone that is like a war drone, that's a little more uncommon, but other
Not a
than
war
that,
drone.
yeah. From there, though, we can start to come up with your what is it called? Not get the thing around. Your
Goal,
personal goal, and then what threat is causing you to go.
A push and a pull.
And these can basically be anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? From the wildest edges of your imagination, why do you want to get to the Pacific Northwest? And maybe you're not all going to the exact same spot.
What's up there?
There's a lot of talk. I mean, at this point, things are so kind of disjointed that the actual news of what's going on places is
Sure.
wild. Seattle is kind of still known as like a tech center,
Okay.
and there's a lot of culture that has come out of there,
Okay.
right? Like this is the birth of the Starbucks era. This is the birth of grunge music. So Nirvana and all of that coming out of Seattle has filtered its way out.
Okay.
There's still, like I said, a lot of tech focused stuff up there. But in terms of sheer global power, Center is like the last super global company.
Okay.
Right? Microsoft is still a thing. They still make products. They still probably do a lot of work in the Neuroscapes now.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of being the one that's putting out the operating system, they are building things and putting it into the Neuroscape.
Oh, wild.
But you do know that it's out from underneath the thumb of Center up there, at least a little bit.
Okay.
There's parts of Oregon and Washington that are very rural and gets you out of the like sort of city hub of LA. That's a possibility. There's a lot of people that are veterans of the war that might have been drone pilots that have gone on to get away from that as much as they can. There's also a lot that are addicted to the drugs that they give drone pilots to keep you able to be connected all the time.
Yeah.
So there's camps out there that are just full of folks that are looking for their next fix of these neurine drugs. That kind of stuff. Those are all sort of possibilities.
Yeah. What about escaping to Canada? I was just looking at Canada. Can that be
Sure.
a goal?
Yes. You want to get into British Columbia.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
A lot of other countries kind of turned away from the U.S. when the Civil War happened.
What?
Right.
Are you kidding me? Really? That's
Unbelievable.
no idea.
This book and game was written before the current things happening.
Yeah. Yes.
And yes, I did go to my local auto club and ask them for 2 maps of California.
The best.
For this game, so everybody could make sure there's a map on the table. So some of the things we need to talk about as you're contemplating these personal goals and threats are which route out of LA are you planning to want to try and take?
I mean, I guess it depends on how urgent it feels.
Yeah. It also depends on how dangerous the routes are.
There's a lot that's not known once you get out of like the greater metroplex of LA. You know that up the center of the state, sort of the I-5 route.
There's a gradient because there's the 1, the 5, and the 101. I'm trying to figure out which of those.
But yeah, it kind of basically you kind of have really sort of 4 choices to get you north, right? Once you get out of the LA area, you've got the 101 and the 1 on the coast. You've got the 5 and the 99 going up the middle.
Ooh.
And then on the far eastern edge, you've got the 395 that goes up through the Owens Valley and near Death Valley and that direction. You know, let's do the first roll and I'll see how much I tell you.
Okay.
Can we do we have a car?
You have a car.
Okay.
You are all traveling together in a motor vehicle. What that vehicle is, we're going to figure out here in a second.
Okay.
But
some funny ideas.
While you guys were thinking about these personal goals and stuff, I just wanted to kind of talk about routes to the north.
Okay. So what do we roll, Dave?
Well, everybody roll. Where did I put the character sheet? Everybody roll a wits.
What is the dice mechanic for this game? How do we roll?
Just that many d6s.
Okay.
Whatever your wits number is, that many d6s. You want 6s to succeed.
Okay.
Oh God.
Is that a good one or a
No.
bad?
Nope.
Okay, hang on, we'll get there.
Strong start.
In your case, you can add your processor rating if you pick your.
Ooh.
To find it. I took the nice one.
Okay, so that's +3.
Yeah.
So you get
Pro?
3 gear dice in addition to your wits.
Got it.
No success.
No success.
Did you get any 1s?
No.
Okay.
How is this happening? That fistful of dice, I rolled no 6s.
So you can
Okay.
you can push it.
That is something you can do, but you lose hope when you push.
Well, not necessarily, right?
Yeah, no, just the act of taking a push, I think, right?
Oh no, I thought it was only if you roll if you have any 1s on your roll. So I might be
Hang on.
wrong. Hold on.
Hey, no.
Also,
To
this
the
is
rules.
this is also a pre-character.
Yeah, it's fine.
roll.
It's fine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna
I don't
push
wanna
right
get all
now.
the way into that, but yeah, this is just the what have you gathered knowledge-wise about.
I got
this
a
trip
lot of
already.
5s. That's
Okay.
as far
I
as
got
that
nothing.
Okay.
I got 3 1s and a 2 and a 3.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, I'm bad over here.
I don't want to start the first session with everybody in the hole mechanically. Like,
I don't have a name yet, but I'm gonna push. Like that's going hard. Like
No,
Well, also like
I'm just a mechanic.
we're just getting started, and I'm already hopeless. Like I've got
Yeah, yeah,
nothing
yeah.
No,
left.
that's
Like that's a bad time.
I'm trying to find
I
the
rolled
mechanic
so many
I
dice.
can-
Uh,
I can-
the things that you know are that San Francisco is a functional city.
Okay.
mhm.
Sacramento is still a functional city.
Yes.
Cody, we can look it up in a little bit.
Um,
I found it though.
Oh, you did?
I
Okay,
found the
okay,
page.
perfect.
I got it on my. I got a PDF.
you know that there's Fresno is still sort of a going concern. There's still some agriculture happening.
Okay.
Most of the small towns you don't know anything about.
Okay.
Whether that's because you've never been up that way and you've lived your whole life down here, or whether that's because really nothing's going on there anymore. That's hard to know. But you know, the general common knowledge is the farther you get out of any major metro city, the less society there is.
Yeah.
So, do you want to try and get from big city to big city as quickly as can? Do you want to just try and avoid the big cities because maybe they're also fully under center's thumb and weird stuff's happening there?
I'm inclined to the 101 or the 5, personally.
Okay.
That would be my thought.
And you're welcome to use the looking at the map. Like, you guys have acquired a map
Yeah.
in the beginning of preparing to leave.
Yeah.
So you can look at it and kind of see what's on there. These maps are probably a little out of date.
Yeah.
You know, these are maybe 4 or 5-year-old maps.
So I feel me the character, like me the player,
Yeah. And then this is
feels like
through.
the 101 is more interesting.
Yes. Me too.
Okay.
But I think I'm just biased because I've driven up and down the 5 so many times personally as a human being.
But also, I'm thinking mechanically, there's a lot of places where there were... so, like, my character is someone who I think is at least somewhat knowledgeable of cities.
Okay.
And I think would be inclined to avoid the unknown of the cities along the 5. Because that is real close to some places that I think if small cities went sideways, there's a lot of small cities right there.
Yeah, there are. Okay, that makes sense.
So I could definitely make an argument for the 101 being also the safer call.
That's cool with me.
Great.
Awesome.
The sole reason I'm asking that this early is because between this session and next
Yeah.
session, I have to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
So that's
I feel like 101 with maybe, depending when we get to the fork in the 1 and the
there are
101.
many different subpaths
Yeah.
that can happen, but in general, you're leaning out towards the coast, not inland.
Yeah,
That's-
away from the radioactive state.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's radioactive in that mostly the breeze goes that way, so
yeah,
it's not
that's
too
fair.
bad.
Yeah, the ocean just blows the air that way. That's
yeah.
how that works. But also there's a lot of mountains and stuff, and we don't know how hard it would be to traverse those versus the lower hill mountains.
Sure.
The 101.
Okay.
Fantastic. And at any time, there are ways to get across the state at the midpoints.
Yeah.
You can change your course at will, just not right at the beginning of a session.
No.
Okay.
101, Dave.
That's my only request, role playing wise. Do not start off a game with being like, "Cool, this was working great. We're gonna make a right turn."
JK, we're gonna take the 14. Bye.
Like,
Bye.
I've decided that I just want to get to Palmdale.
Yep.
That's all.
Yep.
Just
Oh no.
all right. Cool. What else do we have to come up with? We have to come up with what kind of vehicle?
I come up with my goal and grit still. I'm having trouble.
I have a pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can it be a 67 Barracuda that's baby blue?
Oh my god.
Yes.
But like messed up, right? Or like changed?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it could be right off of the Meekum auction block. Beautiful.
Okay.
If that's the story we want to tell. I will caution you that it's a 2-door.
Yeah.
Makes it harder to get in and out.
No, that's true.
Something to consider.
I'm
And it's a little flashy.
It's a little
It's
flashy.
That's
Yeah.
true. It
And
is.
not necessarily the best economically speaking for
No.
gas stops.
It's a slant 6.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm trying to think
This
of
is really funny to everybody who knows that I own a 67 Barracuda with a slant 6 that's baby blue. I guess it doesn't have to be baby blue anymore. It can be like rusty.
but then we'd be making your car rusty.
I mean,
It'd be sad. Trying to think of what like personal driver would be driving, because now it's like Escalades, right?
oh yeah.
The Escalade's very new.
Yeah, it would be
that
like a
point.
Suburban would be the equivalent back then, but even then, like I don't think they would be driving Suburbans.
Also,
There-
whose car is it?
Don't forget the ever-present Lincoln Town Car and
Lincoln
Crown
Town.
Victoria.
We could be riding around in a Crown Vic. Oh, those things are bulletproof.
The 1990s Camry station wagon.
Oh, that does rock.
See the glory that was my childhood.
Yeah.
Also in like brown.
Oh, what was that car? Hold on. We had.
Cody's just like staring.
Sorry.
We've lost it
I'm like
entirely.
I'm imagining wood paneling on the side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think some of them probably had. I think that's a little earlier. Like by the late
That was
90s,
still
they were.
full
Yeah,
70s. in
Okay,
there.
I don't know
Ooh.
anything about
yeah.
The
anything.
thing about I had a personal experience with the artist Sid Mead that did tons of art that the concept artist behind Blade Runner and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff, right? He put out an art book. In ages past, my mom used to teach art in Pasadena, and they had a program where they would invite guest artists every year to do like a week in residence and give lectures and stuff like that. And they invited Sid Mead, and I was like, I really want to go meet this one. And he had a couple of his art books. And it's hilarious because you're flipping through these art books, and it's crazy futuristic cityscapes and the spinners from Blade Runner and all of this stuff. And then you literally open the next page, and it's like a 1984 Toyota.
Yeah.
And it's like, because they hired him to do concept art for the car that year.
Yeah.
And it's in this book, and it's like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Amazing. The Broncos too.
Yeah, I was thinking like Bronco might be a really fun one.
Yeah.
Broncos are just. My family had a Bronco when I was a kid.
Plus you got
By
like the sleeping.
1997, Broncos also have a specific reputation.
That's true. That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
Which are 4x4-y,
Yeah.
Yeah. There's sleeping space in it.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget, we can talk about if you guys want to have an RV.
Oh.
If that's something you want to think about.
What if we had like the?
A van, a sleeper van.
Oh, we could do that. But I was also thinking like the trucks that had like the
Oh,
RV.
camper on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family had one. They're
yeah,
awesome.
my dad too.
Oh my gosh, campers are really funny too because there's often the window that goes between the cab of the car
Yep.
and the actual
If you can squeak
camper.
it through, yeah.
I think that would be the funniest way to
I
go.
think this is like our option.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a really funny option.
I
I
like
really like it.
It's also very practical.
Yeah, if we're doing like a long-term road trip, we need places to sleep. Like,
Mhm.
Oh, this is very funny. Because my character doesn't need to sleep, right?
Right.
You do.
I do.
Your drone
But my drone
would
is just going to sit somewhere.
Yeah. Mhm.
you can't drive while you, the person controlling
No,
the drone, are asleep.
But my
so-
drone's room could be the cab.
I will say that
Just sit.
if you go with the truck and camper route,
Mm-hmm.
it will have to be one that has a connected window passage.
Yes,
yeah.
which is funny.
But other than that, that seems fine to me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's room for all 4 eventual characters to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's totally fine if that's what you guys want to have put
Okay.
together.
Yeah.
Now, depending on what your threats are,
Mm-hmm.
why are you getting out of town? it's not an inconspicuous thing to drive off in.
No.
But that's fine.
In terms of goals and threats, what are people thinking for their characters? Because I'm having a lot of trouble coming up with mine, and I'm just like seeking ideas, potential plot lines, potential this, potential that. Or like Dave, if there's anything you're interested in exploring as the GM that you'd like for us to have connections to.
Primarily, I just want to see what kind of mess you can be.
Okay.
Like,
I have
that's
some
what I
mess.
love.
Mess.
I have some mess.
Like,
Love
that's the thing that, like, and how that mess spills into everybody else's plate,
Mhm.
right? Like, that's what I love about gaming. That's my thing. And if we can do an episode where I go, "Hi, I'm Kadave, and now..."
Yeah.
and
we drive.
And I just get to sit here and go, "Ooh,"
Look at
and
my
then
show. that I'm
occasionally go, "Oh, you guys are running a little low on gas." That's great.
watching. You're the check engine light.
Yeah. That is a wonderful place for me to spend time.
Well, the overall concept that I've been percolating on is that I was someone who worked for Center.
Okay.
That then, through a, I think, unfortunate series of incidents, ended up living life more as a drone than as themselves, and
Okay.
became more and more disillusioned with Center. And probably wasn't even that high up or anything like that, just like was more in that side of the world, and then went, hey, I actually don't know where my body is. And the more I looked for it, the more I just couldn't find answers, because all the places I looked were controlled by Center. And so I'm looking to go up to Seattle to find information about where my body might be, and
That
go
makes
meet
sense.
other people, and possibly resume the work that I think I was doing, which was like imagining myself as like a young Bill Gates, but not at all actually being like that, and not moving up in Center at all. And so being like, okay, well, I'm good at computer or technology, and I'd like to do that for not Center, so I have to leave this state to do that. But also I'm very afraid because I don't know where my body is, and I don't know what's happened with that.
Yep.
That's perfect.
I have a slight modification suggestion for our vehicle.
Yeah.
So I was thinking,
Ooh.
yeah. So I get what you were talking about with the window, because we have to be near each other, and I think that's too much separate space for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
mechanics of the game. So I present to you the other piece of my childhood, the early 90s Dodge van.
I love them.
Conversion vans.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yep. Did it forever. Like, had a TV for our long road trips, and like you can fold down the back, and like
Yeah.
so I feel like that is like also a smart utility choice for sleeping and having multiple people, but also we can't get out of each other's space. Ask me how I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is this cool? Is this the okay alternative?
I
Very
love the one
down.
you have pulled open. It has
Yeah, that one's-
white with green striping on
Yeah.
it, but there's also like some sort of pamphlet shoved in the door of it.
Yeah,
I can
there's
like
like a
hear
splash
these
of-
doors open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Splash of red in there.
It's got that
Very
chunk.
deep,
Yeah.
metallic clunk every time. Yeah.
It's the kind that if you do have a coat hanger, you could probably push the internal mechanism on
Oh,
from the
easy.
outside.
Yeah. 100%.
I've never done that.
Or there's a very real possibility of just the tackiness of your hands
Oh yeah.
going. and
Yep,
pulling
I've done it.
Oh.
No one here's Jimmy open old cars before.
So that's fine. If you
Great.
guys want to do a van,
Okay.
that totally makes sense.
I feel like that's a better option. Sorry. And now
No.
Cody, to your character.
I don't have like.
Okay. Well,
I don't
here,
have
one second.
anything.
Here's a question. Whose van is it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because like one of us has to own it.
I feel like it's mine.
Okay.
Oh,
Interesting.
you're the devotee with the van.
I feel like that's what I live in. Like
Are
I
you-
lived in it
You live in
pre
the van?
this. Yes.
Yes,
Cool.
Incredible.
Nice, love this.
yes. You were the Chris Farley down by the river.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, yeah. So this is like my home that you've all been welcomed into, which may be the only reason why I haven't been kicked out of it.
Yeah, because you have the keys and also the light, like the
Yeah.
yeah,
I love this.
Okay.
incredible.
because I'm so annoying. You're gonna have. There has to be a reason I'm not gone yet.
Amazing.
Okay.
All right.
I was a personal driver. I have a very high tolerance.
Okay, there.
That's my thought.
Yeah. So, for goal. Okay, I think I have both, but I'm not sure if they're quite messy enough yet. But it's like the beginnings of mess. I think my goal is I connected with what I think are a group of like followers that are up in Oregon somewhere. I don't know why I would choose Oregon for cults. But very spicy tonight. I apologize. I'm in Oregon.
In Sacramento.
And Sacramento.
Oregon, we're hitting...
Okay. My mother-in-law is in Sacramento. I have reasons for that one. Okay. So driving. So I feel like I made connections with them on the net, and like I feel like they're waiting for me to come lead them.
Sure.
Oh.
Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I think that it's true, and they're waiting, and I am gonna come and be their leader there.
This is rough.
And what's gonna be, it's like a compound of something. I don't know. I have this vision of this amazing, perfect place.
Keep Portland weird.
And I think my threat is that I feel like I did some sort of like maybe arson or terrorism.
Oh, fascinating.
Maybe this is how we know each other. Because I'm thinking my direct threat is maybe I did a little bit of espionage.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to get everyone to wake up and see that the real world is actually the real net.
Oh, no.
So I did something where I caused a blackout or destroyed a bunch of the headsets on purpose
Okay.
or something.
Okay.
So, one of the things is in every city.
Mhm.
Let me find
They're
the
big
cool
ones.
art.
This is
Okay.
very funny.
Okay.
What if we accidentally committed a really bad, kind of hapless crime,
Yeah.
and that's how we know each other?
Yeah, I like that.
Oh no.
Uh,
I was thinking of being like I had been in the military and I either went AWOL or it's some kind of military conspiracy nonsense is my threat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but I don't know what my goal is. I'm like, do I want to start a clinic up in Oregon or something? I guess. Like that could be a goal.
do you want to
but-
try and help like veteran drone pilots?
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
That's a good point.
Like, there's a lot of them out there.
Maybe
like,
there's an
help
old buddy
them
up there.
kicking the.
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
All right.
if you want to be tied in with us,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you are a doctor and like we messed up and I got really hurt and maybe we came to you and suddenly
Yeah.
now you're like wanted for like helping or
Whoops.
Ooh, aiding and abetting.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oopsies.
Oops,
I
all
love this.
felony.
Oops, crime.
Oops crime.
So
We love oops crime.
every city has lots of these giant towers.
okay, they look like big glowy
Yeah, they
silo
look like
things.
brain silos for
they're
sure.
they're like they're literally
Evil brain
neuronic
silos.
transmission towers.
Okay.
So these are the things that are connecting to your headsets, and these wires are running out to neighborhoods like cable internet, going everywhere,
Okay.
right? To local repeaters all over.
Okay.
So, did you mess up one?
So I think I had this grand plan to try and access one to get more information.
Sure.
And I was like, I can't do this by myself. And I think somehow we crossed paths.
Okay.
Or maybe I sought you out at some point because you were making a plan that maybe was less subtle or something. I don't know, but I was
I was
like,
probably preaching like on a corner and you were
Cool.
like, oh, this person will do it for sure.
yeah. And so I was
Oh,
looking
no.
for someone who was also going to do more than just access it. So I basically did a bigger crime to cover up a smaller crime that I don't think actually maybe made much pay dirt
Yeah.
of it looking for my body in this silo. And so instead we just blew it up.
Yeah.
You just blew it up.
It's
That's
fine.
yeah, cool, great. All
And I
right.
helped you the whole way.
Yeah.
I was never going to
Incredible.
stop you.
No.
But I was going to do my thing
Yeah.
first.
Do I know about your other plan?
Probably not.
I don't think so, yeah. No, it's better if I know.
Yeah.
It was my plan the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm a
I
lead-
want you to think it's
I'm a
your plan.
leader.
We're going to talk about how that's going to work in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a mechanical thing about that.
Oh.
Everyone should know I'm a leader.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Does that work for everybody?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say my goal is to set up a vet clinic up north. I think how we all met is you got injured when you blew the thing up. And maybe I like the idea that I either discovered some fucked up military shit and went AWOL, and then I was like this shady doctor that like I was making a living doing cash, doing stuff for cash only, and so you got brought in, and I was like, "What did you do? Oh, you blew up a thing."
Spotlight.
Ah! And then I'm like, "Okay, we don't need this heat. We gotta go."
Can we make it messier?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. What if we didn't tell you how I got hurt, really?
Okay.
And we just made up a story of, oh, some people hurt us, and we were...
Yeah, there was a trash can on fire.
It was like... And
So I have no clue.
yeah, that we're
That
actually
you are the
super
terrorist.
wanted.
Yeah.
You just think that there's some awful people, like a gang or somebody who are after us, like whatever
Yeah.
it is. And you're like, oh, yeah, we should get you out of
People
here.
going to be after you for this.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's also going to be awful people after me, but like slightly different to the left awful people. So that'll be. I don't know if I've told you guys about that either.
No, I think we're
Definitely
full
not.
of secrets.
Yeah.
I think
We
we're just
are.
rife
None
with
of us
secrets.
know anything about each other.
And
We're
I'm
like,
just a
let's get in the
driver.
car.
I don't work for anybody.
And this is just wonderfully developed. Let's talk about the next important bit.
Yes.
Tension.
Yeah.
One of the things we set up is
We win.
you build tension levels with the other players. And how you work with that tension is how you deal with the game. And I'll explain here in a second. So, now that we know a little bit about everybody, background-wise, you can talk amongst each other and figure out what your tension rating with the other players is. We have a small table, so we'll just have everybody has a rating. If you have a bigger table when you're playing this game, you can end up with not necessarily having tension with everybody. But it works out great with 4. So your tension rating can be either a 0, a 1, or a 2. Now the way this goes is a 0 means you're feeling easy with this person. You're like, and it's totally something that you might think about Kai's character, right? I'm not saying you have to put this down. I'm just saying, like, they helped you get here. Like, they helped you with this big mission, and it happened, right? Like, maybe things are great, right?
Can I make it messier?
No.
Okay.
We'll keep going.
I'm just giving an example.
No, yeah.
Yeah. A level 1 tension is sort of suppressed or contained feelings. Maybe you're irritated with them about something. Maybe they eat with their mouth open. Maybe they only buy the chewing gum that you hate the smell of, right? Just something that just bothers you about them in some way. Maybe the other side of the coin. Maybe you're like, I really think that they're awesome. Like, I'm inspired by this person. Or maybe I love this person. Maybe I'm starting to get weird feelings about this person. That's a 1. 2 is big feels, right? 2 is, I absolutely detest this person. I am completely over the moon in love with this person. The big stuff, right?
Cool.
The way it works is when you come into conflict with, and these can be completely asymmetrical, because you might be madly in love with somebody and they are completely oblivious, or they are madly in love with somebody else. Like, it can get real sticky in all the ways. But when you come into conflict with another player, you add dice for your tension, right? Or am I getting that wrong? You get bonus dice equal to your tension rating. With when you are in conflict with that person, because you're more dedicated to whatever you're doing. And conflict is not necessarily I'm punching them. It's I'm trying to convince you to go this direction. That anytime, that's where that tension number comes up. At the start of the game here, you have tension 1 towards 1 or 2 other travelers and 0 for the rest. In play, when you have kind of a breakthrough character-wise with them, you can lower tension. And lowering tension is how you regain lost hope. Because you're like, maybe things are going to work out. I'm actually getting along with this person better. We've agreed that we all hate 9 Inch Nails. Whatever. Whatever your jam is. No actual hate to 9 Inch Nails. Just, it was an example. So that's how you can regain hope. Now, you can also at will, increase the tension. If you feel like things are getting worse, you just say, I'm going to change that.
Okay.
There is no mechanical thing that you have to do to make it worse.
Got it.
You can just say, it's getting worse.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, at any time. But reducing tension requires you to have talked something out.
Okay.
Have gone and hidden behind the 7-Eleven you stopped at to make out.
Okay.
Like,
Cool.
whatever it is, something has to have occurred that you can then reduce tension.
Do something with those feelings.
Yes.
Okay.
Now make it worse.
So, I'm not sure if it works, but I think I might be convinced you're an NPC.
Cool, perfect. Yeah.
I think.
Oh my
love
god.
Oh, like there is no body somewhere.
Yeah.
Just-
No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just. Yeah. No.
Cool.
You're clearly just a +1 in my
Side
quest.
character.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
yeah.
no! Even
Yes, correct.
better.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think you are an easy mark.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think my
God.
tension with Yukai is a 1 right now because I'm like, oh, you're part of my like fantasy. You're like, okay, so you're like, I have positive feelings towards you, but you're also not like really real. So it's fine.
Everyone has their favorite NPC.
Yeah, it's great. And then Cody, I think I mean until we like, I think I'm like at a 0. I'm like grateful for you, but like,
Yeah, I was like.
I'm probably much more annoying to you than yours.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that like my tension with you is definitely either 1 or 2 because I think my character either thinks of you as like someone who needs help and so I want to help, or I'm just someone that's like, all right, I just gotta stick with it and deal with this person because they have a car and then get me out of here. And I can make sure I can keep patching them up and everything and be useful, but God, they're annoying. Yeah, so that's probably a 1 for right now.
For right now.
Yeah.
Plenty of room to grow.
Yeah. Thought there must have been a reason y'all knew about me somehow when you came to me when you were injured.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one of you knew me from earlier?
Oh.
Maybe it's me.
Okay.
I'm kind of trying to like narrow it down to like, I think for a while, especially as a drone, I have mostly just been like a personal driver.
Mm.
And that's just kind of been what I've been doing. Which is why I actually did take driver as a talent. Is like literally I've just been like a chauffeur.
Ooh.
And so I hear a lot of things.
Okay.
And I think I've also just been around, so I haven't decided how old I am.
Mm-hmm. I've decided that my character's 29.
Mm-hmm.
So... Because I was thinking we could even do it where, like, childhood friends who met each other again, or, like, went to the same school. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to connect.
How much of like before do you remember?
Yeah.
I think a fair amount.
Okay.
With bitterness.
Okay.
And I put it in a little box and I don't talk about it.
Okay.
Like, I don't think I go by my real name.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
I think there's a lot of, like, that's over there, because it's very, like, upsetting and dangerous to interact with. But I like the idea of you having a tie to that.
Yes. And I
To
have
make
no
it
idea.
worse.
And yes. And I have no idea that you are like this person from my past.
Oh.
Because you don't go by that name anymore and you're not that person, you're a drone.
Oh my god. Okay, maybe I got out of the military. Maybe I didn't run away. Maybe I know who you are.
Oh crap. Yeah, okay.
Maybe I retired.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Cool.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Or-
That's great.
Maybe you did your stint in the military to be able to afford going to school to learn computers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
maybe,
genuinely think, like, I'm just no longer in, but
yeah.
that...
Like I stayed in, I was gonna be like I don't think my military thing was like I refused. I wanted to be a combat medic, but I didn't want to like fire a gun or anything like that. Which I don't know how oh no, that's fine. I don't know how groovy that is with like the military, but they, you know,
I mean, a large chunk of fighting in this world at this point is drone based.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So like you could absolutely do medic stuff because drone operators
Are the ones
are getting
like mentally
mentally
and
in trouble, and that can lead to all kinds of other problems.
sure. Okay.
But you know, they're not. You're not frontlining it. You're not.
Sure,
you're not
sure.
maybe
yourself
that's
out
how we
there.
know each other, because I think I was a tech and not a pilot for the military.
Got it. So we were two like we were together because we weren't like soldiers, so we
We're like
kinda-
coworkers in a
Yeah.
really, really complicated situation.
Yeah, and we were like, hey, and we ended up being friends, and then you left the military after you, and I stayed there, and then we run into each other, so you know who I am. I have no idea who you are. Incredible.
That's excellent. So I'm going to ramp yours up to probably a 2.
Incredible. Are you? What's your personality? Because I gotta decide. Because I think you're either at a 0 or 1, but I don't know.
I am intending on playing someone who very heavily masks.
Got it.
Who very much so, I think, in a professional setting would have been very cordial.
Okay.
And
All
then, like, on a personal level would probably be kind of shockingly, like, anarchistic and a bunch of other things that I think we're seeing now as the permission to be other than perfect as a drone.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a 0. Because I think I don't find any issue with drone person yet, because I don't no idea who you are. And you're polite. So
Lying
fine.
is the solution for social interaction.
Yes! It's good, guys.
Great.
It
Okay.
always works, except when it doesn't work.
And being locked in a small space with another person, none of that will come out.
Never.
Oh, of course
Never.
not.
Also, by the way, chat room, we are not doing a Herbie the Love Bug story. That is not a thing. I'm sorry. I like it. I like the idea of maybe even like a drone intelligence taking over a vehicle at some point, but not this
My
vein.
highest calling. Become car. I am now going to do Kit
You
from
are-
Knight Rider.
You are a transformer, but not one that transforms.
Perfect.
All right.
Google Kit from Knight Rider. It'll be great. It'll be great. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've done the character making.
Mm-hmm.
We made mess.
Yes, absolutely.
make
We,
many.
have
We
a
didn't do our
general
songs.
direction we're gonna go.
I
I'm
have to
sorry.
go look at
We
a
didn't do
bunch of
songs.
music now.
Oh yeah, I have my song, but I just picked a song from a Green
Do you
Day
want to?
album.
Do we have to do?
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, if you're ready for sharing a song, I'm ready to hear them.
I have mine.
Let's go.
Okay. Ironic by Alanis
Oh,
Morissette.
God.
Oh,
You are this person. You're...
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, dear.
Because
no.
it's so ironic that everyone thinks that when they go in the net, that's the net.
That's
we're,
not what ironic.
we're in the net right now.
not
Perfect.
That's
Perfect.
the exact point.
Perfect. No,
And
no.
we're,
Yeah,
only,
no.
we're only 2 years in the past, in the 2 years before Alanis Morissette portrays God.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
God. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh God. My favorite song is "Welcome to Paradise" by Green
Yeah.
Day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
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 Mhm. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Accurate.
All right.
It's okay.
We have a lot of that stuff. One of the things I did mention a little bit earlier before we started streaming, I'll share with you, the audience. I am attempting to ground this in the very real road trip world of California to start with. Who knows if we end up anywhere else. Based on my real life experience as a kid that did every summer giant long road trips. So we will end up hitting places and making stops along the way in places that are real places. There will obviously be narrative liberties about those places. And I might reach out and pluck weird little roadside oddities from other places and put them in the way to make it more interesting. Because as much as I love the idea of making people sit in a car, we're not actually playing that Penn and Teller Desert Bus game. I would like to have some things come up that keep it entertaining. Because even one whole session of me just sitting here going, you're just driving, keep driving, that's
for 20 minutes.
Pothole.
right. Yeah. Here's the one roll of the day is: do you avoid that tree branch that blew into the street? That's not the game that we're playing. So there will be things that some of you may have heard of, and some of you may go, "That's not where that actually is." That's the creative liberty that I will be taking to keep it weird.
It's fiction.
Because there's a lot of roadside Americana out there that gets even funnier with drone tech. It's gonna be weird. I'm very excited about a lot of it. And I already, in my mind, have many, many places between here and Washington State that are gonna be bizarre. Yeah. Those of you, if you are listening, that played this with me at the last game convention in February, I still have in my binder right here all of those player characters. They are going to come up as NPCs as we play. So exciting. You want drone T-Rex that in the movie ended up eating Pee-wee? I can do that for you, Jason. But yeah, there are a bunch of weird things out there. Yeah. If anybody out there listening or in chat has anything that was a weird roadside experience that you'd like to share, you're welcome to message me on the Happy Jacks Discord. I'm happy to hear them. I can't say that I'll use all of them, but I'm happy to read them because I like all that stuff. But yeah. We were going to do our best to put up a map that we can keep track of where we have been as we make progress on this journey. I will pick up some highlighters for the paper maps in the room and have them with me next time so we can get started on that. Does anybody have any other questions?
I don't think so.
I'm excited.
Feeling pretty good?
Yeah. Mo's going to jump in next time and be like, what have I done? Why have I joined
what
the
is
game?
happening?
What is happening?
Yes. So that is something you do notice. We do have an empty seat. It will be filled, and the best part about a road trip game is it's very easy to find people along the way that need to get out of wherever they are. So I will probably do some character gen stuff with him offline and be kind of ready to go. And he can kind of make some, like if he gets back, he can kind of make some choices that how it can integrate as we go.
Yeah.
Then we can rebalance the tension stuff.
Great.
At that point. But yeah, other than that, I think we're good. I know oftentimes we jump right into a game session after character gen, but this is not the game for that. It requires a lot more figuring out exactly things along the way.
Yeah.
One thing, though, I'd like everybody to roll a d6.
I'm scared now.
Oh, jeez.
Just a
Roll
D6.
better.
You don't know if 6 is good.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
What?
Oh, now
Horrifying.
I'm scared.
That
We'll
was a
find out next time.
4 and a 2 and a 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Fascinating.
I will say that for blowing up a neuronic tower, you will absolutely be wanted by law enforcement.
Okay.
You will absolutely be wanted by center security that are the private mercenaries of the world.
Yes.
Militarily speaking, there is absolutely still essentially the evolution of the California National Guard,
Oh,
Yeah.
right? That are out there doing their thing. So they will be on the lookout in that regard.
Yay!
So everybody wants us.
So essentially,
Yeah.
the 3 biggest entities in the state all want you guys for something.
We did it.
Cool.
Yeah.
We got a
No,
good grade in
story
threat.
wise, should we modify like we tried to blow up the tower and we failed? Would that be an easier?
Los Angeles is a place that has many of these towers.
Okay, so that wouldn't have been like.
But you absolutely knocked a neighborhood offline
Okay.
for a time.
Okay.
And that's rough when people are getting addicted to using these things.
Yeah.
So again, giant megacorp makes all their money on this landscape.
Can I be Chatsworth that we knocked off the grid?
Okay?
I don't know.
Just like, you get that neighborhood in particular. Cool. Okay.
I don't know. Just play it. It's just a funny neighborhood that's like
Screw
very
North
random.
Valley.
I'll get a map of LA and I'll throw a die.
Here, why don't we do North Hollywood just so it includes me and I could feel
Okay.
the Happy Jack studio was knocked off of.
Yes.
All right.
Midstream
Okay.
Perfect.
was knocked offline. And
Horrible. That's a crime.
They've had a great
the
time. They would
Thousands
just
of
end it.
people that were watching the stream are now just sitting in it because, neuronically speaking, it would be like this setup, but then there would be like live studio audience around watching games.
That's not weird. Okay.
But we might not even see them.
That's true.
Like they would be in bleachers that we can't even perceive.
Yeah.
They would all be sitting around in an auditorium that we're playing in. That kind of a deal.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, cool. Thank you out there for joining us. This has been Session 0. We are well on our way to a disaster road trip, which is exactly what I wanted out of this game.
Yeah.
I have been, as soon as this game concept came out, I was hooked immediately. Like, it ticks all of the boxes of things that I love. So, oddly, of all the games that I've run, this one's very personal for me. So I'm curious as how that's going to go. But I'm excited. So thank you all for joining me here. It's wonderful to be back in the studio and doing a thing. Because it's the last game I played, any kind of game, was when I was here to do Cody's game that you can look up at happyjacks.org/shows. But yeah, other than that, we'll be back next week
Woohoo!
and get this conversion van rolling. Yeah.
Cool.
I guess I'll go around and find out what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, I should know what I'm
You
doing.
start over there, so you're up.
Okay. Hi, I'm still Kimi.
Yay!
You can find me at Golden Lasso Girl or Golden Lasso Games. Most places on the internet. If you want to find the games I make, you can go to goldenlassogames.com. I'm here every Saturday night for our ttrpg advice show, where I read the wild stories and topics that you all send in and talk about it with my friends. Very similar to right now. I'm usually a little less spicy, but only because I have to be in charge. But all right, that's me. Ready?
Hi everyone, I'm Kai, still. You can find me everywhere as Estella Vimladris, where I do a lot of streaming, gaming, tabletop gaming. I do a lot of things now. You can find me nowhere tomorrow. Wow. Thursday, though, the 4th episode, I believe, of Lori's House, which is an all-new actual play podcast using the brand new system that we wrote for this game, The Home We Remember, which is a game that is driven by the idea that exploring memory allows you to kind of change yourself, the past, and what happens. And the actual play, The Home We Remember, is about community, memory, and the selfless act of self-exploration. I get to be the original architect, which is the game master role for that game, and it is a complete joy. So the 4th episode of that drops on Thursday, and then I will be streaming Baldur's Gate in the evening, and then I'll be streaming again on Friday, more just personal stuff over on my channel for Twitch, where I'm doing gaming. And then I think that's it. I think I'm just back here next week. Oh, and you can come catch me now. I do a show. And the last time I was in the studio, I didn't do it yet, called Seems Right, which is on my channel, Estella Vimladris, on Twitch, which is a show dedicated to costuming and storytelling, and where those two things mix, and sometimes where a special specific part of one of those things exists. So on Monday this week, I went over a huge selection of sewing tools and what they're actually for, and fun little secrets like what the strawberry on the pinned tomato is for. But also I've covered like the concepts behind like fantasy costuming and things like that. So tune in. It's always a new subject every week, and I'll be live on Twitch with more of that on Monday.
I'm still Cody, and you can find me online as Jaztice, Jaztice. That's my Blue Sky handle. That's what I am on Twitch. That's what I am on everywhere. I also have a website because I'm fancy. It's www.codygonzaga.com.
Wow.
Learn how to spell yourself. It's Kodigonzaga. Anyway, and yeah, I don't have that much of an online presence video wise, but I shout into the void on Blue Sky. So
There you go.
join me there.
That's the thing.
Fantastic. And I have been sporadically streaming on my channel Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, because it's a wonderful time to run around and punch Nazis and fascists in the face.
Yeah.
And I'll get back into that now that the Renaissance Pleasure Fair has concluded for this year. And I can contemplate being places with my feet not hurting.
Oh,
So
God.
that sounds wonderful. Yeah. Other than that, we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.